Wow, Mikey Garcia goes in on Bob Arum. This is at least the second fighter in recent memory to go in on Top Rank's Bob Arum. We gonna talk about all that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest. Now, without further ado, let me play the clip. Let me preface this one thing before I get started with the Mikey Garcia clip. One, he was very hostile, angry, went in on Bob Arum. Two, tonight is the night, UFC 257. There will be a trailer after that, and then I will close with my thoughts. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video. Roll the clip.
When someone asks you if you'd be willing to fight Crawford, of course I'm willing to fight Crawford. If you're asking me about Thurman, of course I'm willing to fight Thurman. Porter, Danny Garcia, rematch with Spence, of course I am. I'm not calling anybody out like, oh, I want to fight you. Will I ever work with Arum again? Honestly, I seriously doubt that. Fuck Arum. Piece of shit. Fuck Arum. I'm gonna keep it real now. I'm tired of fucking just keeping it always politically correct and try not to get him upset because all the fighters are still with Top Rank, because my brother still works with Bob Arum and Top Rank, and fuck that fool. Man, different. New year, new me. New year, new me. Fuck that fool. And he probably didn't even know what the real problem was with the lawsuit, with the negotiations. He probably didn't know. He only got one story. You know, he's the boss, so his workers were only telling him their side of the story, making it seem like I'm so difficult to work, that I'm asking for large sums of number. Motherfucker, we never even sat and discussed a single fucking number in a single fight. So how could he say that my mind is in the stars asking for all these crazy purses? No. Never sat, never actually discussed anything with him. But the people around him, the other people at Top Rank, telling him that I'm crazy, that I'm asking for so much money, just to make him feel like they're doing their job and that I'm the one being difficult. But that fool don't even know shit. How would you feel if your boss tells you, you know, you can't, he's got no job for you, so you tell him, okay, well then maybe I can, you know, go work for another company. And he says, nope, you can't go to another company either. Am I going to work with you? Nope. The fuck? He don't care if you got food on the table, if you're providing for your family or not. He didn't give a fuck if I was providing for my family. So how would you feel about that? So that's why I say fuck him. The company itself is a very good company to build a fighter's career, to build a fighter. They are actually very good at it. I've always said it. They're one of the very best to do it. But when it comes to like a star, they're not always the most fair. I mean, they gotta make money, I get it, but I just don't like that they keep things away, you know, in the dark. And the track record proves it. De La Hoya left, he made the most money. Mayweather left, he made the most money. Cotto left, made the most money. Chavez Jr. left, made the most money. Andy Ruiz left, made the most money. I left, made the most money. There's a little bit of a pattern here, you know. That's why I'm able to say what I say. And yeah, we do have other fighters with Top Rank, and I wish them the best because I know they have a very good team of matchmakers, and they can build a fighter. They know how to build a fighter's career. It's only when a few occasions when they get to a very, very specific level of success that they're not always the best, you know.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego. A storm is coming. Conor McGregor, the rematch is here. Poirier versus McGregor 2, only on ESPN Plus. Use my link in the description. UFC 257. I'll see you at the fights.
Who the fuck is that guy?
So you heard from the man, the myth, the legend, legendary Mikey Garcia. Also rest in peace to his mother, who recently passed last month. Very unfortunate news too. We got to support all our fight families, you know, and there's a lot of lineage in that gym. And through his family, a lot of great moments. Robert Garcia, his brother, trainer, 2-time world champion. You know, just a lot of great things that his family has contributed to the world of boxing. Now, regarding his thoughts on Bob Arum, listen, I know y'all get mad when I say this, but Ego Stradamus strikes again. I've been saying the same thing on my channel for anyone who would listen, you know, setting the tone. And now you're hearing other fighters, promoters, trainers, people in the industry saying what I've been telling you. Top Rank, good company, good for the grooming stages early on fighter's career. But Mikey Garcia says what I've been telling you. Once you get to a certain height, a certain level of success, that's where it gets a little bit sticky. Pause. Because I don't know if Top Rank, their blueprint or their game plan, I don't know how well that works with dealing with superstar fighters. Like you look at Teofimo Lopez, he was making some noise, doing the Fortnite dances, backflips, knockouts, and a big fight with him and Lomachenko, he had to argue because the deal that was publicly disclosed, 1.25 million, he thought that was a ripoff for the level of competition with Lomachenko, the event, and stuff like that. So it's like, where's all this extra money going? Lomachenko getting paid, why are we only getting 1.25 million? And once again, you have to acknowledge you don't see this with PBC fighters. You do see Jamal Charlo looking like they're living the life. Jamal Charlo has a videographer for his channel, Ringside with the Lions. So obviously he probably pays the person, you know, at least some type of per diem or money to edit and be around and shoot. You see the jewelry, you see the fast cars, the flashy cars, and Errol Spence is buying a ranch. Deontay Wilder got a bronze bomber mobile, different stuff like that. And, you know, listen to what Mikey Garcia is saying. He's saying literally what I've been saying. So I don't know how long this video will be, but the proof is in the pudding. There's a lot of talent that was cultivated and the initial spark was started with Top Rank, like Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Mikey Garcia, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. There's a ton of guys, but how many of those guys really stayed? You can keep going. The list goes on and on. Andy Ruiz, the whole time he was with Top Rank, his biggest fight was Joseph Parker. And I thought they set him up, you know, whoever they is. They took him to New Zealand and had him lose to a New Zealander in a fight that I thought he should have won. And then after that, he kind of got shelved. So I thought that was wrong. Same thing with Pacquiao towards the end of his career. Pacquiao, they took him to Australia instead of giving Terrence Crawford the opportunity. Now Crawford's in a position where he's struggling to get a big name in the ring, and he wants leverage, but he really just doesn't have the leverage. And they allowed Jeff Horn, a school teacher in Australia with no name brand and no notoriety, they allowed him the opportunity, and he can tell his grandkids and his kids that, hey, I'm the one that beat Manny Pacquiao, the legend. You see what I'm saying? So you see, I guess it's a business blueprint. Mikey Garcia also explained in that video you guys heard a little bit about why he had that legal standing. He says basically Bob Arum was listening to his team and going off of what they were saying, but we never even discussed numbers. But he was telling people based on their assessment of the situation that my head was in the stars and in the clouds and I wanted too much money. And you have to acknowledge this when it comes to Bob Arum. Bob Arum, notice he's always talking about money. Always talking about money. And oftentimes, especially recently in this pandemic, you constantly hear him talking about what he can't or is not willing to do, or he's not taking the loss, or whatever the situation is when it comes to money. You don't really see that. I don't see Steven Espinoza of Showtime. We damn sure don't see Al Heyman because he don't really even do any interviews in general, but you do always see Bob Arum constantly saying, oh, I'm not going to go bankrupt because Teofimo Lopez thinks he's worth more money. You know, oh, these guys got to be reasonable. Oh, Devin Haney, he might be too much money. Oh, Sean Porter for Terrence Crawford, I can only give him a meal because the fight, you know, I'm not going to lose money. Oh, Terrence Crawford, I could have bought a house in Beverly Hills with the amount of money I lost on Terrence Crawford, et cetera, et cetera. So all this stuff kind of ties in, and you have to ask yourself a few key questions. One, when it comes to other people, and I know this is not apples and apples because Al Heyman is an advisor, not a promoter, but when do you ever hear any former fighters or current fighters talk about Al Heyman and say Al Heyman is a POS? Mikey Garcia just said, F Arum, he's a POS, and I probably won't work with him again because, so F him. You know, he basically wanted to see me starve. He didn't care if I provided for my family. Look at all the fighters that left, and, you know, after they left, their money got right. Mayweather, Cotto, De La Hoya, Pacquiao. You know, there's more that he didn't list, like Andy Ruiz. He did say Chavez Jr., but there's other fighters too. People don't understand this and may not realize this, but Leo Santa Cruz was actually with Top Rank. And that is telling in itself. It's telling in itself that until I just said it, a lot of y'all didn't even know Leo Santa Cruz was with Top Rank. You know why? Because they didn't really do anything with him. And he really got his name in the high profile fights, even though it didn't work out his way. But Gervonta Davis, 2 Abner Mares fights, 2 Carl Frampton fights, right? Kiko Martinez, Wilder undercards with Flores, Wilder Ortiz 2 undercard. He did all that off of Top Rank, you know? So his biggest fights and his biggest resume wins or challenges or purses, they all happen on PBC. A lot of y'all didn't even know he was with Top Rank. So it definitely is a pattern that we're seeing. And if fighters, you know, act like they don't see it, then that's on them. So it is what it is. Mikey Garcia, here's another thing you have to look at. Again, in addition to what I just said about what fighter has said this about Al Heyman, you know, said Al Heyman didn't care about me or my family or was cheap and stingy. You're also having a frequency. I don't know if Keith Thurman kind of jumped this off, because Keith Thurman recently went in on Bob Arum and said pretty much the same thing. He said, come on, Bob, F Bob. Bob, you cheap, you stingy, boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, he did like DMX. You whack, you twisted, your girls are woo, you broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know your own man say you stupid. You be like, so, like, he went in. And now you have Mikey Garcia a week. I know it both happened this year because these are videos I made for January, you know? So in the month of January, you've had 2 fighters that are saying the same thing. And Keith Thurman wasn't even signed to Top Rank, but, you know, he was just keeping it real and saying his piece from the outsider looking in. So it's going to be an interesting year. Mikey Garcia, he seems like really begrudged by the situation. He feels like, it sounds like Top Rank set him up. You know what I mean? Like they were okay with seeing him starve. And I've said a lot of the same stuff that Mikey and Keith have said. I think Top Rank, they're solid, but they're solid at certain things, and there's other things that they could work harder to probably do, like even Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's a phenomenal talent. He's a great kid, a great fighter, clean cut, skills. And they gave the Berchelt Valdez fight, they gave him the date when Berchelt tested positive, but they could have they're all in the same weight class. So when Berchelt had the Rona, they could have just slid Shakur Stevenson and Valdez into that fight. But just like Cameron Duncan said with the NBF no black fighter list, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they have this belief that there's no money in the Shakur Stevenson Valdez fight. So they prefer 2 Hispanic fighters fighting, 2 Latino fighters fighting, and he feels that that's where the money's at. But again, the thing you got to question is there's Hispanic and Latino fighters that have left Bob Arum and they're going in. Andy Ruiz, he said Top Rank, they didn't treat me well, boom, 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 F them. He said this. Mikey Garcia is saying this. You see what I'm saying? So it's looking cutthroat, like there's no real, I don't know, just basically name somebody that left Top Rank, that made a lot of money and is saying good things. You know, Pacquiao's not even mentioning Top Rank. Floyd Mayweather said the best thing in his career that he did was buy himself out of his Top Rank contract. Mikey Garcia is saying F Bob Arum, and I'll probably never work with him again. And they did me shiesty, you know, they were smirkish. That's a Bay Area word for y'all, right? Keith Thurman was never signed to him, but from the outsider looking in, he said more of the same thing. Like, look at all the fighters that left you and Crawford might leave you. Crawford is being thrown under the bus. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. My mom always told me to like go to the source, and sometimes in life you got to just look at the common denominators. And there is a common denominator here, period. Let me know what you guys think of Mikey Garcia venting his frustration. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the conversation. Is now open. Just drop me a comment. Also, UFC 257, y'all know what to do. Click on that link. We're going to watch the Conor McGregor fight tonight, UFC 257. You dig, we working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.